Hello friends, welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to model this 3D logo. I will be teaching you multiple design concepts that will be very useful to you once you learn the concept. Okay, so if I jump to the Blender and take you to my scene, you see here it is 3-segment logo. But if I take you through the animation, you will see I have done this animation using 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see this is totally under your control. Okay, you can do these changes at your own wish, however you want to do it. But as part of this thing, I am not doing any geometry node or any other complex process. It is very simple. So let me just show you quickly in the render view how it looks. Okay, so this is on the initial keyframe. See, with the number of segments, the colors are also changing dynamically, right? Okay, so I could have gone on to n number of segments, it doesn't matter. Okay, if you understand the logic, you will see how powerful this is. Okay, so let me save my file, close it. Let's go to the vanilla Blender. You can see I don't have anything. So how to model this kind of logo? So first let's start the principle behind it. Whenever you model this kind of shape, you need to identify which part is repeating. So here one of the segment is repeating, right? So if you want to do that, let's start first creating the whole segment, create a submodel out of it, then do the modeling. Many beginners will do this kind of mistake. They will just blindly create a circle, go to edit mode, maybe scale it a little bit, and then they will think, okay, let me pick some random segment, say for example like this, and then they will try to duplicate it. Okay, so here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, say for example 8 segment is there. Okay, and they will think, okay, let me duplicate, rotate by on the Z axis like this. But you can see it will not work like that, right? Because it has some unique pattern to it. Okay, so ideally how you should do it, let's start with a circle. This vertex count with which you start has a very significant role. Okay, so as in our original image it had 3 segments, we need to make sure that this circle have at least multiple of 3. So we can start with 48, okay, and maybe 66. Anything about 3, above 3, which is a multiple of 3, should be okay to us. Okay, so I think let's start with something good like 48. 3 into 16 equal to 48. So let's start with that and go to the edit mode, go to the vertex. Let's scale the vertices like that. Okay, so what we have done, we have selected 48 vertices. Now I need to create a 3 segment. That means I need to select 6 segments out of it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, but don't do it manually. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so you would assume that if I create 16 segment and rotate it by 3 times with 3 duplicate, it will work, right? No, it will not work. There is a reason behind that. See, you see there is a special, this edge is a bit curved, right? But if you do it like that, so for example, let me just show you by doing it, otherwise you will not understand the mistake that will happen. Okay, so this is one of the segment. So what I said many beginners will do, they will just create an array, say count 3, add an empty. Okay, or let's, instead of creating array, let's first do it by giving it some thickness. So quickly I'll add a solidify modifier, then maybe add a bevel. Okay, 2 segment bevel, and let's add some subdivision. Okay, now you can see that, okay, let me do a duplicate of it, rotate along Z by say 120 degree. Okay, and do similar thing, rotate 120 degree. I think I need to rotate on this side by 120 degree. Okay, so you can see this is working, but it is also not giving me that shape that I was looking for, right? You are getting my point, right? So how to do that? So instead of creating the subdivision, let me undo it a bit of time to this where we have come back to the whole circle. What actually need to do is, I'll show you. Select the outer edge and rotate it just like this. Okay, now you will see I am getting to this kind of shape. Okay, let me again, it doesn't matter from where I start. Just select some of the faces. I'll press Ctrl Shift and plus just to select. Let me see how many objects I'm selecting. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16, correct? 16 edges selected. Now if I just quickly invert, delete the other faces, this has created me one of the segment for my browser. Okay, now if I do the same thing, that is applying, giving it a solidify and followed by a bevel, and then sorry, I've chosen one thing by mistake, and give a subdivision to give a nice thickness, and then if I uh, duplicate this or Z 120 degree, again Alt D or Z 1 degree. Okay, now see we are getting that uh, uh, I would say near to this thing, but look at this. There are, I mean, you can guess it, right? It is not that user friendly, right? And you have already committed to the changes, right? So how to make it dynamic? Okay, so that you can change the number of segments any point of time. You can change this inner circle at any point of time. You can change the length at any point in time. Okay, so let's try to see how I go about that. For now, let's move it to a new collection called primitive logo, because it was a very bad process of doing this kind of modeling, right? And we don't want to do that. So how we will do? What I can do, I can start with a single vertex. Okay, if you don't want to do that, what if you start with a default cube? No problem, go to edit mode, press M, collapse. It will give you one vertex. Okay, you can follow either way, I don't care. Now if you have seen my earlier tutorial where I had shown you how to use the screw modifier, then there I have already showed you that how powerful it can be, right? You can basically dynamically extrude a vertex along a specific axis without actually creating the extruded geometry. So how to do that? Let's go to the screw modifier. Okay, and let me go to the top view, and you see screw is happening on Z axis. That's why you won't see anything. What I'll do, I'll put it on the X axis. Okay, and make the angle 0. Now I can control this screw length. That will determine the thickness of this logo, this one. Now if I go to the edit mode, in the edit mode, if I go and go to the vertex, you can see my geometry is intact. Okay, now what I have to do is I need to rotate it, right? I need to extrude it like this. So I need to create a face. Now from the single vertex, how can you create a face? Very easy again. Use the screw modifier. So like last time, you remember that whenever it was 3 segment, 360 by 3 is equal to 120 degree. What I'll do it by 120 degree. Again, don't worry why you're seeing the red face here, because it is due to the face orientation. I keep it by default. So what you can do, you can just press this normal, calculate outer, and that will take care of it. Or if you can just at later stage also do it, but do it first using this method. Okay, now I have spoken about the this issue in my previous screw tutorial many a time, that whenever you do a screw tutorial, please follow it by the weld modifier, otherwise it will cause problem, because sometimes screw create duplicate vertices, right? And now I will create one array. Okay, so as I am doing 3 segment array, I will give a count of 3. And now as it is array in this way, what I'll do, I want to control an empty to do it. I'll rotate that empty along Z by 120 degree, and this one I will use the object offset and use that empty as a reference. That will give me the full circle of it. Okay, so far you might yell at me that why I'm not able to see that thing. Okay, that's because we haven't added those thickness to it. So bevel is something that is needed, but before bevel, solidify should be put. Okay, you can see it is already taking the shape of the thing what I wanted. Okay, don't worry about the shading, we will take care of it. Just add 2 segment. You see it already looks much better. Okay, and obviously it is not looking that good, so let's add some subdivision. Let's say 2 level of subdivision, and you can see it looks much better. Now you will be arguing, this started with what we started, that those mistakes, right, that we already did. No, my friend, you can be mistaken for that, but it is not like that. So what you can do is, now you want to create that hole in the middle. Okay, so yes, you can move this thing along x-axis, but it will not work like that. Okay, so let me show you. You just add a displace modifier at the beginning of everything and move it along x, and immediately you see, my friend, it has created a very nice circle out of it. Okay, just play with this strength and you will have that control. Okay, so let me see. I think the bevel value is too much. Let me reduce a bit to make the edge surface. But as I showed you earlier, this had some curvature. Think about it, how to do that. Okay, so in order to do that, what you can do, you can commit this initial segment. Okay, just create the line. So what you can do, you can just apply the displace, apply the screw modifier. You remember the first screw extended, it created this horizontal line. Okay, you have done it. Now in the edit mode, just go along Y or along X, either way is fine. Okay, you can also freely move it wherever you want. Okay, that is one way of taking your logo to your desired shapes. Okay, now comes the another way. I said that I don't want to commit to this change. How to do that? Again, don't worry, I am there to help you out. So what I did, I have undo. I went to the back step where I was in this displace mode. Okay, now what I'll do, look at this. I will add the same displace modifier, put it above the below the first one, and let me duplicate it again. So let's see, pay close attention what I'll do now. First displacement is doing it along x-axis. Okay, when I moved the mesh, it shows that I want it to move along y as well as along x. I can do it using controlling this displacement parameter. So what I'll do, choose y and choose this one as x. Now look at this beauty. Isn't it wonderful? Right? So I hope you are able to understand the power of it, right? Now you might be wondering, I showed you another thing, how to do this dynamically, right? Dynamically means how easily I was able to change in that original animation. If you remember, I was changing this thing dynamically. Okay, it is again very easy. So what you need to do, if you just change this count, say make it to 90 degree. 90 degrees for what? Whenever you have 4 segments, right? So for 4 segment, what you need to do, just come to this angle. For it is 90 degree, and for the array it will be 4. You can see I got my this new segment with 4 count. Now if you say I want to make it 5 segment, don't need to remember 360 divided by 5. Okay, 72 degree. Similarly, just go to this screw, make it 72 degree, and increase the array count to 5. Voila, your segment is done, right? Same thing for 6 segment, 60 degree, make it 6 and make it 60, as easy as it goes. Now this thing can also be automated. Okay, so based on this array count, let me know if you really need a tutorial for that. There is a concept called driver. Using driver, based on this array count, you can change the angle of segment of this empty as well as the cube at dynamically level. Okay, now coming to the another interesting part where I show you how this dynamic color I did. Okay, that's also very easy. Let me show you like this. I created one principal BSDF. Just add a geometry node. Where is it? Let me see if I sometimes forget. Okay, let me add this geometry node, and it has this random per island. Okay, so what you need is a color ramp and add it to this base color. So I'll just add few random colors. Let me distribute stops evenly and just quickly create some good colors. Okay, it doesn't matter. You are free to choose your own color. Okay, so far so good. Now let me go to the material view. Okay, I don't see anything. Let me see why. Okay, this is okay. Okay, I think I need to go to that render view, and let me disable the scene lights, scene world. Yeah, just to make it make sure that you see it very quickly. Okay, so you can see using this shader technique, you can easily create this thing. For my initial tutorial, what I did, I make it rough, make it metallic, a bit rough. You know the drill, right? You can play with the texture anytime you want, and you always have the control of changing this thing. Okay, now the inner part of the logo, again, it is very easy. Really nothing much to do. I'll just add 3 levels of subdivision. Just apply the modifier. Okay, press Ctrl A, apply modifiers, and go to edit mode. Press Alt Shift S to create a sphere out of it. Just create a new material. Let's give it a pretty blue color, and maybe add a level of subdivision to make it a bit more smoother. Okay, so let me center it somewhere like this. Okay, let me sorry, my bad. That's why. So yes, wait. Okay, so yeah, that's it. There is really nothing much complexity here. It is, you can see the process is very powerful. You can apply this principle to create any other kind of design. Okay, I really hope that I was able to convey and teach you my modeling technique and you really found it useful, please share with your friends and keep this learning habit and sharing habit amongst ourselves. Okay, thank you guys. I'll be looking forward to your comment in upcoming videos. Thank you. Bye.